The Middle East may be approaching a major diplomatic breakthrough as reports suggest that the United States and Iran are close to finalizing a significant agreement that is aimed at easing one of the region's most dangerous crises. And according to the reports from the international media outlets, Washington and Tehran are discussing a proposed 60-day ceasefire arrangement that could reopen the Strait of Hormuz, reduce military tensions, and restart negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. The proposed agreement reportedly includes two separate timelines. A 60-day period would focus on nuclear negotiations between the two countries, while a separate 30-day framework would address the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and the easing of restrictions on Iranian ports. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical oil shipping routes, carrying a major portion of global crude exports every day. And any disruption in the waterway directly affects global energy prices and economic stability. And under the draft agreement, Iran would reportedly clear naval mines placed in the strait during recent tensions and allow unrestricted maritime movement without imposing tolls on international shipping. And in exchange, the United States is expected to ease restrictions on Iranian ports and provide sanction waivers that would allow Tehran to sell oil more freely on international markets. Reports also suggest that both the sides may negotiate broader sanctions, relief, and the possible unfreezing of Iranian funds currently held abroad. And a major part of the proposed deal focuses on Iran's nuclear program. And according to the reports familiar with the talks, Iran would commit to never pursuing nuclear weapons and would enter negotiations on limiting or suspending uranium enrichment activities. Well, discussions would also include reducing or removing Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. However, several issues are still under negotiations, and US officials have reportedly warned that the agreement may not survive the full 60-day period if Washington believes Tehran is not serious about the talks. US President Donald Trump recently boosted hopes for a breakthrough, saying that a deal had been largely negotiated and was awaiting final approval from all the sides. Donald Trump reportedly held discussions with leaders from Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Turkey, Pakistan, and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as negotiations intensified. Pakistan is also believed to have played a significant role in helping facilitate communication between the two sides. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, during his visit to India, hinted that progress was being made and said that the United States still preferred a diplomatic solution over military escalation. Rubio also reiterated that Washington remained firmly opposed to Iran developing nuclear weapons. And the proposed understanding is also expected to address tensions involving Hezbollah in Lebanon. And according to the reports, the agreement would effectively end the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, although Israel would still retain the right to retaliate if attacked. One US official reportedly summarized the arrangement by saying, if Hezbollah behaves, Israel will behave. However, the talks have triggered concerns inside Israel, and reports also suggest that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu raised objections during recent discussions with Donald Trump, fearing that easing pressure on Tehran could encourage Iran to use the Strait of Hormuz as leverage in future conflicts. Israel officials have reportedly described parts of the emerging agreement as dangerous from a security standpoint. Meanwhile, reactions from other global powers remain mixed, and Iranian Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf accused the US of lacking honesty in the negotiations and insisted that Iran would not compromise on its sovereign rights. Russian official also downplayed the optimism, claiming that Washington was exaggerating the progress of the talks. The ongoing tensions continue to impact economies worldwide, and in India, petrol and diesel prices have risen again due to instability in crude oil markets linked to the Middle East crisis. And analysts now believe that if finalized, the proposed agreement could become one of the most significant diplomatic developments in the region in years, potentially stabilizing oil markets, reducing military tensions, and opening a new chapter in US-Iran relations. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.